When the game-changing Tucano fighter jet arrived Nigeria from the United States of America, we thought our security woes across board would come to an instant end. The presidency says before the Tucano jets can be deployed in the banditry-ravaged Northwest in terms of agreements of the purchase of the aircraft need to be adhered to. According to the presidential spokesman, Garba Shehu, this is to ensure that Nigeria does not enter the black book of the US and the International Criminal Courts, ICC. Judy, last upper Sunday, we talked about this thing.
Yes,
and
this Sunday too.
Yes, a lot of people that expect that, look, when the Super Tucano come, that they can, apart from the Northeast, they can rot one that in the other part of the country, but no, the agreement is not like that.
Everything that Garba Shehu said, so those who listen to this program regularly, I have said it repeatedly, because I suspected that we would not want to go against the agreement. There's an agreement in place that, look, as far as they are concerned, terrorism was happening in the Northeast. The Leahy law that Obama used to deny us access to U.S. weapons, that Leahy law is still there.
Yeah.
Trump, just as an individual, took it upon himself, invited our president to the U.S. after he won the election. He said, I will help you to defeat terror. I'm going to sell weapons to you. Something that our own black brother refused to do. Now, after that, remember, the moment the Americans made up their minds to sell weapons, the human rights groups and the rest, they started complaining that, look, the Nigerian forces, they don't have a good human rights record. They will use this weapon. They will use this weapon against the innocent people, this and that. IPOP also complained because they sensed that they could send
they could deploy
Tucano to so for that reason, the Americans said, okay, bearing in mind Leahy law that forbids the selling of weapons to countries where there is no guarantee that it won't be used against civilians. This thing should be deployed against terrorists. And where did we have those terrorists? Northeast. So that was the agreement.
Against Boko Haram.
Now, people like Governor Rufai pushed and said, let's rename these people terrorists. We went ahead. I said at that time that renaming them terrorists won't solve the problem. What will solve the problem is to have the right strategy to deal with them, not simply what you call them. We didn't listen. We went ahead. We said, okay, by fiat, they are now terrorists. When Governor Rufai asked for that law, he said that it will enable us to use the full weight of our law against them. Tucano bombers, 12 of them, we have them. But we didn't sign an agreement with them to use it outside the Northeast. If we begin to call them terrorists, that is our own this thing. To many people, the definition, the globally accepted definition of a terrorist does not fit what these good-for-nothing people are doing in the Northwest. Because these ones are simply out for money. You understand? So, how do we do it? Are we going to risk the anger of these people, especially now when we want more weapons, by going against the agreement? I don't think the Nigerian forces was prepared to listen to politicians by going against the arrangement. If we go against it, they won't sell more. They will stop the service. They will stop selling spears to you. They will stop the training of your personnel, because they were the ones who came and even helped us to build the hangar where we keep them somewhere in Niger State. We keep the Tucano somewhere in Niger State. They will not do all of that. When you can't get spares for them, how do you keep them going? When they cancel the maintenance agreement, because that cost of the Tucanos come with maintenance costs and all that, and spares. So what do? If they go against you, they refuse to sell to you, they refuse to do business to you, then you will blame yourself. And I've said that we have helicopters that can do this job. Get more helicopters. If you look at the story of Colombia, Sri Lanka, countries that have dealt with this kind of insurgency, they use a lot more ground attack helicopters than we use. Tucano, they have their own job. Their job, we all know them for precision, for accuracy. But in terms of getting close to the field of battle and dealing decisively with these guys, helicopters will do it. Let's stop thinking, yes, let's not thinking that only Tucanos can do it. I disagree. So we just need to accept our fate. We entered into an agreement. This is not a federal government ASU agreement that we can breach the way we like. No, it's not. There are consequences when you breach it.
Wale, now looking at Nigerians, they just want a kind of change. Yeah. They want, the situation right now. They want the situation to be overturned, whether it is by Tucano or whatever. Just get on top of what is happening, because now we felt that with the coming of this Tucano, we are going to stop terrorism, stop banditry, and everything. But now we know our limitation. That look, beyond the northeast, they can't go any other places, or we are going to face the sanction by
about $500 million to get this, about 6 of them. Now we are talking of 12. So a whole lot
$500 million and times 2, that's something.
So that's just for 6 of them. So
12 now. So
$500 million for 6. So for 12,
that's like $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Wow.
Now, the fact of the matter is that Nigeria is a member of the international community. We are bound by international laws. The UN Arms Export Control Act of 1976 has its own regulations when you want to sell arms to other countries, which was an amendment of the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961. And the fact of the matter is that the US says, if you want to sell arms, you have to report to the Congress. It has to be justified by the fact that those arms are going to be used to promote global peace, not to fight civilians. So you can't breach that law. Even when you breach that law, you go to other countries to buy lethal weapons. The United Nations Arms Treaty is there, which has been ratified by about 101 countries, to say that arms must only be used, excessive force, against terrorist groups, not against civilians or bandits or people who are just fighting against the state.
Well, some people want the banditry to fall into
this
the category.
This came into force in 2014 when the president of Costa Rica and a lot of peace Nobel laureate came up and said, look, you are selling arms to people that are using it to fight civilians. The UN had to adopt series of conventions and then accepted that, look, nations cannot buy arms if they are going to be used against civilians. So our arms are tied. We can't do anything about it. So, and I think I support the idea that we have to look at other means of dealing with this problem. But if you are looking at Tucano being deployed into the northwest, I don't think, or middle belt,
or north
central, it's not going to happen. Don't also forget that the body is on the president because the International Criminal Court is there.
Yes.
So after his exit, we don't want anybody to come and pick him and say they want to take him. So he needs to be very careful. So he needs to be very careful. That's the dilemma.
All right.